Good morning and welcome to the morning blessing. The morning blessing, as you know, is coming to you because it's a special blessing. It's open for you to receive it and it's up to you to enjoy it. We all need some guidance every day. We all need the morning blessing. We don't interrupt the morning blessings. We come and we give the morning blessings to each of us. I get from it too because it usually just comes to me before I step here. So what I want you to do today is to look at how you greeted yourself. What did you say to your amazing self this morning? Did you smile? Did you say something nice? Did you find something you wanted to criticize? You know that's forbidden. You're not to criticize this amazing specimen of you. Too often we do that first. And then we wonder why others do this to us. So what I would like you to do right now is to realize this is a special blessing today. And your blessing today is this. What do you do with you? What do you talk to you? Do you talk at you? Tell me. What it is we do with ourselves. We talk to ourselves. We talk at ourselves. We do that often. But there is something that we do not do with ourselves. We talk at it. We have this conversation at self. You're not functioning. Your bone is breaking. Your this is that. Your knee is hurting at self. You are hurting me at self. To self. To self. Come on. We have to do this. To do this. We have to go there. To self. Constantly talking to self. So my morning blessing to you today is to take you on another little trip. I found out today we never, if ever, seldom talk with ourselves. We do not have a conversation with self. We talk at self, we beat self up, we criticize self, just like the rest of the world is busy doing with self. When are we going to learn to talk with ourselves? You know, we were told somewhere along the line at school that we should not talk to people like you, to, or at. You need to have a conversation. You need to include them. So we got that information correct. Some of us didn't. And some of us, even if we got it, we forget sometimes and we talk at each other. We talk to each other. So that means we are not paying attention to what we are saying at all. In that conversation we are supposed to have going back and forth like this. We do not. We are busy talking at each other. We don't give them a chance to respond. At. We do that to children. And then we continue doing that. And we talk to each other. We don't talk with each other. And you know why? Because we cannot even talk with our own self. We cannot have a conversation with self. We do not ask self if it is okay to behave like this at the moment. All we do, we talk at self. Just as we talk at each other. And we talk to each other. But we never take the time to talk with each other. Why? So because we don't do that, we look at this specimen of a human being that is wonderful, us. We never say, let's talk with us about us. Let's talk with ourselves about the amazing person we are inside of this shell. The true us is not the outside. We stand and we criticize the outside of us because that is what we were taught to do. When we talk to ourselves, we talk to and we talk at. Why is that hurting? To do this. We need to do this. I need to do this. We do not ask ourselves, is it okay? Are you sure it's okay for us to go out today and drive on a cold, snowy day like it's a summer day? Do we ever stop and breathe and say to self, you know what, chill. Let's take this down a notch before we flare off the handle. It's not worth it. Do we talk with self? Do we have a conversation where we sit and we muse with self? I love that word, musing with self. Amuse, just not amusing, but musing with self. You sit there and you talk with self, not at self, not to self. You have a conversation with self. That prepares you for the world. That prepares you for the world. They keep telling us we shouldn't talk to each other like that, and we shouldn't talk at each other. We're like barking dogs at each other and tearing teeth animals to each other. And then we take it and we treat our beautiful, amazing, special creation of a human being the same way. We do not even respect to ask ourselves, is it okay to do this? Is it okay not to do this? We don't do that because we are so busy, and my button is off, and we are so busy telling self everything else that self has to hear, which the world is going to tell self already anyway. You don't need to stand in the mirror and when you wake up first in the morning to find a fault. Oh God, I have a crinkle here, a bag over here, 2 lines down here. No. Look at that wonderful self and say, how are you? What is going on with you today? How are you feeling today? Are you ready for this wonderful, amazing opportunity to create today? Do you love being here today? When we talk with self, guys, you know what happens? We open a big door. We become more intuitive. We become more inspired. We become more daring. We become less frightful. We become more believing. When we talk with self, we develop strength and character and faith. We have all these qualities that are so divine, and each of them are uniquely ours. When we talk with self, we raise them up. Your soul gets fired up. You become more persistent, more consistent, more determined, more focused. You become more joyful. You become more loving, because you know why? You loved you before you stepped out to love the rest of the world. And that makes you more loving, more caring, more understanding, more giving, more tolerant, more accepting, less judgmental, and most certainly a better soulful behavior. When we talk with ourselves, we are preparing ourselves to enjoy the moment of happiness in time. Just that. Happiness in the moment of time. That moment, we can see happiness no matter what that crater of devastation is creating. Out of that crater, when there was a mountain that kind of shifted and they slide into the Omnika into a river, and it created something that was so beautiful. Eerie, but beautiful. Frightening, but beautiful. How could we see that? We had to be there in the moment of time, to go there and to look at how this mountain just went down into the river with nobody doing it. And it created this thing that when you see it, your eyes pops out of your head. That's a moment in time. It was devastating, but it had that happiness, whoa, a moment in time. To do that though, self must have had conversations with self, with knowing and behaving. When the thought of madness, total aggravation and anger seeps in, which it will, because in 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts, they're not going to be all roses and kisses and hugs. But we have to be in the moment. If we have conversed with self already today and we decided, no, these empowering thoughts passing through me. No hateful thoughts about friends, family, neighbors, or the world passing through me. No politician is worth being hated passing through me. If we have that conversation before we step out into the grand world, then when these thoughts come and you're going to say to it, no, 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 not today. You're not spoiling that trip I am on. You will never get me to follow you down that rabbit hole. You know, I talk about the rabbit hole all the time. It's a one-way hole. You must come out where you went in. And sometimes that's bad because you never know what follows you into that rabbit hole. So your thought is to first thing to get going is to have a conversation with self. What are we going to do today? What do we plan to accomplish today? Who are we going to talk to today? What can we do about this today? Why are we doing this? Conversation with self. If we get this going in the morning, we get it going all day long. We will never ever stop to talk at self. We will taught to talk at self because that was what was done to us. We were taught at everybody, the teacher, the parents, the cousin, the uncle, the aunt, whoever they were, they always talked at us and to us. They never asked us, well, what do you think? We never knew we could actually ask a question like that. What is going on? What do you think? Do you like this? Would you prefer to have this or would you prefer to have this? What do you desire for supper? Or here is it. If you do not talk with self, you cannot address self properly. Therefore, if you cannot address yourself properly, can you imagine what you're going to do with the rest of the world when you get going? You're going to look at the rest of the world and just don't see it as being worthy of having a conversation with. And that's why we have so much conflict. We talk at each other constantly because we have not realized that we need to talk with ourselves. And that helps, as I said, it prepares us for success. It prepares us to go over things that are horrible. It prepares us to be stronger. It gives us a feeling of accomplishment. It helps us to be a magnificent specimen of that amazing creation we are. Unique, individually unique, wrapped in a special golden wrapping, different from yours, different from mine, but special all the same. So conversation with self is important. You can start it. If you have done this for a while, if you try conversation with self for 3 days in a row, you will notice you smile more. You will smile more. You can start conversation with self before you jump out of the bed like a wild animal and race to the bathroom because you have to. You can sit or lie in the bed before you bring your head up to meet your toes and say, wow, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? Is everything okay with you today? We have a magnificent day ahead of us, even if you cannot see the magnificent day yet. Because I've always told you, you can live the life you want inside of your head before that life becomes a reality. Your first step in doing that is the conversation with self. So, what do you plan to have for breakfast? Do you want this or do you want that? Can you imagine? Many people hearing you will think you're crazy and you've gone loco. And they might call the men in the green uniforms to come and get you. But it's okay though, because you're ready for the day. It's okay though. It doesn't matter who they call. You're still going to face that day with a magnificent attitude because you had that conversation with self. And do not worry about those people who are telling you, are you talking to yourself again? No. You just say, no, I'm talking with myself. You need to listen to words. You've heard me say, I only hear words and I only see words. So when someone says to you, okay, why are you talking to yourself? I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking with myself. We're having a conversation about my day. We're having a conversation about my new project. We are having a conversation about my life. We are having a conversation about my health. So you see, it's with self. If you connect with self, you'll find out why that knee is hurting. If you connect yourself, you will never give your knee a name and set it aside and say, oh, my bad knee is hurting. But detach it, get rid of it. If it's not that knee, the bad knee, put it away. Have you said to the knee, wow, what's up with you today? What's going on with you today? Why are you hurting today? What did I do to you today? What can I do to help you feel better today? That is talking with self. So you have a headache and you sit for a moment, close your eyes and have a conversation with your headache. Are you going to last all day? Did I maybe drink too much alcohol? I smoked too much? Did I eat too many salty things today? What is the purpose? Is it because it's a rainy day? So talk to self and find out what's going on. And once you get up that day and self feels like everything has just gone to the mechanic and everything is firing on all 5 cylinders, you're tuned up, oil, you had an oil change, you had a filter change and you're tuned up, ready to go, carburetor is working. When that is good, say, wow, I feel amazing today. Thank you, body. Thank you. Honor yourself by speaking with yourself. And this is what we need to do. Stop talking at self and telling self all what you do not like. Oh, I do not like my this, my nose is too big, my mouth is too small, my ears is too big, my fingers are too fat, my back is sore, my neck is sore. That is just complaining to at it. It's not saying what works, which is the one thing that is working right now. Which is the one thing you really, really like about you right now. You know, there was a song a long time ago to bring out the positive, accentuate the positive. Well, accentuate the positive. Find the positive in you and bring it out because no one is coming to do this for you. So that's what I want you to understand each and every day. You are unique. Your message to yourself is unique. Your message to yourself is not the same message that your brother, your sister, your friend, the world has to itself. Each person's message to self is unique. Every conversation with self must be unique outside of the conversation of others. They are having their conversation with self. You are having your conversation with yourself. Where are you headed with the conversation? Is it going to uplift you? Or is it going to put you down? Is it going to enhance you? Is it going to make you smile because you can? Is it going to make you believe that it's okay? Is it going to make you feel like you have a chance? There's a possibility for success for you. You can do it. Is that conversation enabling you to be the best you? Is that conversation you're having with self preparing you for the magnificent person you are? Is that conversation going to help you become the true you? What is that conversation you're having with you doing to you? Stop talking to you and at you and criticizing everything about you. Talk with you. When something is not working, address it and ask a question. What's going on? Just like you would like to know, are you okay? Why are you hurting? Touch it. Touch your knee, touch your shoulder, touch your neck that is sore. But don't exasperate the condition by being angry at yourself. Love yourself by talking with yourself. Be attentive to self. Care for self. We will go out of our way to visit a friend in the hospital and sit there silently and say, how are you doing? Are you okay? Well, sit down and do that to you. before you get off that bed, feel yourself. Like feel the energy from your head to your toe. Acknowledge. Acknowledge it. Let it know you are feeling for it. You understand it. Then put those feet on the ground, on the floor. And when they do, pause for like a second and feel the flow. Be aware of yourself and talk with yourself. Do not ignore it. It's not a good thing to do to self. So sending you light and joy on this wonderful morning. I hope that you remember to be with self, to talk with self today. Watch your words. Listen to what you're saying. Be careful how you address yourself, because that is how you're telling the world to address you. You're special. You're unique. You're packaged in a different type of packaging, but still unique to you. Beautiful, because you need to see it. So have a wonderful day.